Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator. Today I'm going to play a track called Mintop MX by AtlasZoor, and as you may remember, very recently I did another track by AtlasZoor called Taupe MX, and just going to give it a go again with another one of his tracks because, well, quite frankly, we had a couple people recommend that I give this track a go anyway. It's one of the newer tracks on the forums this week, and wanted to see what it's all about, so giving it a go, like I said, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun playing this track. I've ridden maybe 10-15 laps on it, so I've gotten a little bit of a handle on it, and it is a really fun track. Kind of excited to show you guys some of the fat whippage that I can throw on this track, and scrubbage, like right there. Oh man, just over the top of the hill. But yeah, AtlasZoor, when he made Taupe MX or Taupe, had explained how he was pretty new to track making. Well, not new, but new to forum posting, I should say. Made a couple tracks already, and like I said in that other video, I don't know what tracks those were, but that Taupe, whatever, was his first forum release, and this was a pretty good follow-up. He hasn't made a track in between these two. But this track is pretty darn epic. It's got really good flow. Visuals, it's pretty just like standard, I would say. Like nothing really jumps out at me as like, this is glaringly bad, or holy crap, he put so much work on this, I can't believe how good it looks. I mean, it looks great. Like on a standard level, this track looks perfectly constructed on a visual level. I wouldn't say that he needed to add anything. It looks pretty perfect as is. But sometimes you download tracks where you're like, I've never seen something this visually impressive, like the Nicholas Sandbox tracks, for example. And you know, it's not Nicholas Sandbox, but it's a really good visual track in terms of what is available other than the Nicholas Sandbox tracks. So I think all around it's a pretty good package. You guys will see as this video goes on how well the track rides. I haven't made it look terribly well in this first full lap. A couple crashes here and there, but I think the sections flow tremendously well together. He's got a good mix of high-speed sections with some little bit more like tight and technical sections. Overall, it seems like he's got a pretty good understanding of how to build a popular track, because not only was Taupe a good track and many people downloaded it, but this one has also received some really good reviews already, and just figured it's a good track. It's pretty new, might as well talk about it. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Oof. One thing that I like that new track creators seem to understand is condensing environments, because we went for quite a while with people releasing tracks where the track was this small, but they put it on a just a completely standard 1225 map, which is giant by normal standards. Like, the biggest example of it I can use is the SYS compound is a 1025 map, and this track would fit in a corner of that, if that. So there's a lot of load being used on computers because people would build tracks like this on like little small areas of a track that, you know, 75% of the other area wasn't being used, and it was really just empty space, which isn't super physically taxing on a computer, but it's not the best to have it just sitting out there. So condense the environment down to this little square, because you can see to the left there's these like mountain things. And this is just some sim insider knowledge for anybody that doesn't know how this works. I'll ride over to those hills in a lap so you can see what I'm talking about, but those mountains don't exist. They're just it's actually a statue file, so it's not part of the skybox, but it is supposed to extend into what is the skybox to make it look like the mountains just go on and on and on and on. And he added a little bit of a fog layer to this track, which you can also do fairly easily, but it just kind of makes it look a little bit more real that way, because it's not just like it's a small condensed area map where it just ends. Because like, look, this is the edge of the map right there. That little lip is the edge of the map, and then when I go to the other side of the map, you'll see what I'm talking about, where Like there it is. That's one full corner of the map, and you can pretty much see all the way to the other full corner. Whereas like on most 1025 maps, unless there's mountains on either side of the corners, you can't quite see it. So when I whip over the top of this hill, the far berm over there up in my upper right hand corner is the other side of that map, and that's not that big. So that's what I mean by condensing the map down, which most people seem to understand when they build tracks these days. And like I said, it's positive because it keeps these tracks from computer-wise being just a burden for some people. I'd imagine that quite a few people that play this game don't have god computers. I have a good computer. I guess you could call it a great computer, but it is not a gnarly, godly level computer. Like I know some people have spent $5,000 pouring into their computers to play this game, which is ridiculous, but some people have done it. I didn't, and I'm able to run this track no problem, 125 frames, all by myself. I'm sure if I got maybe 10, 15 people on this track, I could still do it full tilt boogie with graphics at 125 frames. So yeah, that's kind of just a little thing I wanted to touch on. I'll go off to this side of the track so you can see these look like mountains, but you just go right through them, and that's the edge of the map. Actually, oh yeah, I'm already past the edge of the map. Yeah, you can see the edge right here, right there, and then the mountains reappear. So just kind of explaining a little bit of the inner workings of Sims so you guys can understand a little bit more of what goes into track building, because I know a hell of a lot more about track building in this game than I do any sort of level making in any other game. Except maybe Roller Coaster Tycoon, I was pretty good at that stuff. But I've spent more time than any other game making custom tracks and maps in this game, and I've only maybe released 7 tracks. So that's not that many tracks, but it's a lot of time spent putting into those tracks. Man, one of these days I'm going to land that triple into the corner. I was getting it no problem practicing this track, and it felt so cool because you just land right over that little hump on the inside and just down into the rut no problem. But I just can't seem to get it right now. So in my last track walk video, I talked a little bit about erode and how if the track is already set like this one is, where there's bumps and ruts on it, erode works, but not as well, I guess. Like it just digs everything a little bit deeper and makes everything a little bit harder to predict. So that's why people have done this whole make the track as smooth as they can and then let it rut in when it comes to setting up servers and stuff for erode. So I didn't put erode on for this one just because I wanted to show off the track as it was made and not in a changing landscape, because it's fun the way it is and it works the way it is. But you can use erode on tracks like these. It's not like you can't. You can still set it up to use the dash erode and then any number that you want. And it does work. It's just like I said, it makes everything so much deeper than it already is, and that's kind of unnecessary because some of these, you know, like this section for example, the ruts and the bumps through there is already pretty gnarly, and while you're on the throttle per se, it's not going to make anything crazy because you're not going through a corner, you're not braking for anything, but it'll still dig in a little bit deeper with erode on. So I just decided I'm gonna not do it for this video. So, but like I said in the last video, I will start doing more erode track walks. I just have to find the really appropriate tracks to do it with. Look at how fun this track is. That is an unsavable whip. I got way too upside down. But I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like when I started playing Sim, there was a core group of like different track makers helping out making stuff that were fantastic at making custom tracks. And we got like at least 2 or 3 good custom tracks released every week, and it died out pretty quickly into my first couple years of experience playing this game. And then I feel like we hit like a lull period where there wasn't like a super good amount of custom tracks being built. Like, yes, they were still there, but they were like few and far between, and it would only really be when some of the RF guys would get together and make custom tracks, or we'd have a track comp, that you'd see like a plethora of tracks released at once that were really good. But now I feel like I can log onto the forums and at least 2 or 3 new tracks are really good and fun to play every week, and it's a little nice for me because it makes my job easier finding tracks to play that are new and exciting and people will want to play. But it also kind of makes it hard because then I have to kind of, I don't know, hurt feelings, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, by not picking a track to play. Because some of them I've played and I'm like, yeah, I got to do this for a track walk, but then I just, you know, I either don't get around to it or I forget about it. So one of these days I really need to go digging through the forums again and be like, oh yeah, I remember playing this track, I really need to do a track walk on this one. But I like to find tracks when they're like timely, like this one is, to play, so you guys can really get it, play it now, and get used to it or whatever, because I feel like this track, as well as some of the other tracks released in the past couple weeks on the forums, are tracks that people will be putting on servers for the off season, because this is when, like, not only does track building probably get the best when people get together, start building custom tracks in the off season, but you also get to play these tracks with friends online more often, because not everybody's tryharding supercross or motocross tracks. They're playing these fun custom tracks all together. I just sent it into this corner. I like this section right here, that there's 2 different options to go through. Like, you could double your way through, single up into the corner, or triple in, double over, and then double into the corner, which is clearly the fast way, but I like that there's 2 options regardless. And last lap I nailed this triple up to the inside of the corner, no problem. But almost looped my Larry there, so I decided to back out of the challenge, if you will. Yeah. Playing some Mintop MX, AtlasZoor, custom track, fun times, MX Simulator. It's nice being able to pick up this game lately and still feel like I'm sort of good in it. There's like a month span there where I was like, man, I took too much time off from playing this game because I just was not very good. Must just be because I'm doing track walks weekly again, right? Finally, someone says. Alright, I'm gonna do one more lap. Pretty much just like a standard 15-ish minute track walk. Sounds pretty darn good to me. I actually, on this last lap, will show off one more cool feature about the track while I'm heading over that direction, I should say. Because I always like, and always have liked on tracks, when guys include Easter eggs, like for example, MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael, and you'd play the, it's called like the Canyon Park, or whatever it was, free ride map. It was part of the freestyle stuff that you had to do. And if you jumped all the way to the top of this obelisk thing, there was 2 ladies in bikinis sitting in a hot tub on the top of it. Like, that's just like fun Easter eggy things, and I know that is definitely not the level that I'm talking about in this particular video, but it's nice when you're just riding the track, you crash off to the side of the track, and you stumble upon something that you didn't know was there, because quite honestly, it's really like hidden unless you go look for it. And it's not anything special, it's not anything crazy cool, it's just like, look what I found, it's hidden over here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. So this section, like I said, triple in, double over, double into the corner. Now I'm gonna get this triple no problem right here. Watch this. Yeah, just 5th gear, pop into the corner, and miss the inside rut. So we'll go outside. And then we're gonna scrub the balls off of this thing, not quite. So basically, you couldn't quite see it even if you tried, but if you go up to the left here, there's little like freestyle ramps just kind of tucked into the hill over here, just like a little secret kind of hidden Easter egg thing. Pretty cool, I feel like, that you put the time into doing something like that over here. I'm gonna do one more little run through, just get absolute sauced on that kicker ramp on the right. Let's try to get upside down. But yeah, I think that it's cool when they take the time to just throw in little extras. I remember Barrington built Glen Helen one year and included a gnarly freeride kicker on the REM track of Glen Helen that like you really had to go find it, and it would like send you over the top of the hill. It's definitely not realistic, but it's just cool to find little like Easter eggs. Oh, Oh, dirty. I'm going to throw as dirty as I can on the finish line, and then we're going to end this track walk. You ready? Here we go. Oh, man. That's not usually common that I'm able to call a dirty whip and then throw it that dirty. So I'm pretty proud of myself right there. That's a good way to end track walk. Hope you guys enjoyed another edition of it right here. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But for Kellen here on Starter Systems, so long for now.